全ての罪をこの身に背負い、私は前へ進む。全ての罪をこの身に背負い、私は前へ進む。全ての罪をこの身に背負い、私は前へ進む。
Oh, hello. Took a while, but yes, we're back in Nikke today because I want to finish up Blank Ticket hard mode, Epilogue. Yeah, nothing much has happened. I haven't really been playing Nikke. I have been doing other stuff. So, generally speaking, I have not progressed even campaign, honestly. So, yeah, so we're gonna be starting off today with Blank Ticket hard mode before we do one of our dailies. Just to pass on the time, and of course, talk a little bit about other games. Specifically, I think something a little bit interesting for people, because it's a limited event in the game that's coming out in December. Another Eden X Final Fantasy IX limited, I believe 6 months collab. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that after we finish our storyline here. So yeah, let's go ahead first. It should have an Epilogue at least. Usually, if it's based on your normal pattern. Ah yeah, the famous music to start off. Also, I'll talk a little bit about a few things about me not playing a lot of gacha games. I mean, Nikke is the only gacha game I actually actively played nowadays. I have not been playing BA for a few days already. I have not been playing GBF for a few days already. It feels good. Obviously, I still have played GBF because I have friends there, and yeah, but I already announced the withdrawal from the crew, so it's just, you know, biding for the time to leave the game. Maybe for real this time. But man, exiting from a lot of gacha games actually is very soothing. I don't know why. And I'm not really feeling stuff into the void that I used to. I think getting used to the void is the more integral part, because I think I've noticed, I guess, self-introspection myself, gacha games is a good time sink. Okay, it's a good time sink. It's also a good money sink, but when you get them out of the way, maybe you feel like a different person, I guess. I don't feel the need for FOMO, I think, as much. Obviously, for Nikke, I still have some FOMO, but that doesn't mean that I fully invest myself in it. I wouldn't say I distance myself from Nikke, but I think I have changed my opinions on how I view gacha games to a point that I think is a bit healthier. Um, there are games like Another Eden, which is gacha, but you don't need gacha to play it. So it's like you just need to farm every day. And the characters that you have will constantly build on top itself, and even if it falls off, you still can play the content. It's not a must that you need the content. Anything, the way you want to grind changes, obviously, for sure. But I'm starting to see whether the game design is good or bad from a different perspective. Um, especially in relation to gacha games. GBF has sadly fallen into a trap of their own accord. One is that because of the monetization method, they have to release a character that is good for that raid, and any raid before it, predating it, and then basically make it unusable for even farming. As you know, GBR needs farming, right? So if you make it so that you cannot farm it, it's useless. But Another Eden's farming is by keys with dungeons. And okay, wait, why am I talking about this now? I should be focusing on the story. I mean, also on the battle. Sorry about that. We'll talk about Another Eden's design philosophy and why I think what makes a good gacha game after this. But let's continue first. A few days later, so Lin, we're finally done talking with Ingrid. That took forever and a day. Thanks for taking care of everything while we were gone. It must have been exhausting. It wasn't the easiest thing in the world. Oh, she's wearing her new outfit already. Hey, smug face, Solin. But I had fun. By the way, whatever happened to that old lady you mentioned before? Oh, huh? She and I became friends. No kidding. So is that a new uniform you're wearing? Yep. Noah made it for me. So what do you think? It's adorable, a big upgrade from your previous uniform. That I do agree. No, cute uniforms, smart uniforms, neat uniforms. There are all kinds of uniforms out there. And as long as it's not basic and it's upgrade from the previous version, it's an upgrade, right? So it seems your professionalism has increased as well. Huh? What do you mean? Have you not taken a look at the suggestion box? No, as you know, passengers don't often leave comments. I checked it once a week while you were both gone. But that's it. Well, take a look at this. Wade hands a tablet to Celine. I was exhausted when I got on the last train, but that heartwarming announcement really moved me. It took a while for me to warm up to the new voice giving the announcements, but I think I actually like it more than the previous one now. It's so full of energy and really lifts my spirits. Diesel is going to lose her job now. There are plenty more like this. Are they all about me? That's right. Many passengers think highly of you. You really know what you're doing, Celine. I'll leave the announcements to you from now on. Alright, no problem. If you need help with anything, just let me know anytime. Aww. She groaned. She groaned. The daughter has grown. Out of the carriage, and then in before she says she's the girlfriend, and then you'll be like, huh? Light novel series? Anyone? Yeah, will do. By the way, what took so long with those talks? Didn't they have something to do with train service on the surface? Oh. Ah yes, we almost left out the most important news. Brace yourself for this one, Celine. Okay, they found a fully intact railway on the surface. Further inspection revealed that the tracks stretch on for a significant distance. They need to repair that, man. Whoa! This indicates that freight trains must have travelled along those rails in the past. We concluded that there may be considerable resources and materials waiting to be discovered. That should be rusty by now. It's like a few hundred years now. So, the AZX is heading up to the surface. Oh, are you serious? Yes, it's true. And that's not all. After going over the expected railway routes, we have preemptively determined that it's a relatively safe area, so we will be able to bring along a small number of civilians. What? Is that really possible? Are you sure it's not dangerous? We want to show the public that the surface is becoming safer thanks to the central government's efforts. Sending the AZX up to the surface is the perfect opportunity to do that. They're going to make use of the rail that are rusted. Are you sure that's a good idea? AZX is also a very different, unique train, no? Assuming the train technology did evolve between past and now, unless they are saying that the humanity did not improve afterwards, after only focusing on food and resources. Sending the AZX up to the surface is the perfect opportunity to do that. If this succeeds, public opinion will improve significantly. Again, pointing to the post-current chapters. It will be a light in the dark for those who have given up hope. After all, many citizens still wish to return to the surface. I know that all too well. How will we decide who gets to go? We'll be holding a lottery. Each person can only submit one ticket through the app. However, to be eligible, they must agree not to hold us accountable in the events of injury or death. Even if selected, the winners are permitted to withdraw at any point before departure. I see. Dieselbrit, I have a request. Hey Nora, my destination. There's no way they could have been waiting there this whole time. Even for those knuckleheads. But still, I just want to make sure no one picks up the pen. Terminus. With that, the empty destination field is filled in. Finally, I'm really going back. Box ticket, yeah, it's blanks, right? Terminus ticket. To be continued. They're gonna release another event probably in spring. Probably. Feels like it's gonna be a spring event. Or maybe another winter event. It says to be continued. Terminus ticket. From blank to terminus. What story would we be encountering then? Well, the OST as well. Reminiscence, right? The image from this music is like you're at the beach, looking at the waves, coming in and out on the sunset, fading into the darkness, or the dawn breaking. It's a song that like feels attuned to memory, obviously. But the next event that we will see Terminus ticket. Not soon, of course, but unless this is the prelude of the event. And the next event following up straight away is Terminus ticket for the Christmas event. Which could be possible as well, being that they did announce Brit and Diesel's new alternate costumes as limited. Sadly, of all the three characters, Solin gets the non-limited, which feels bad, but I mean they definitely planned it out. The two hotter characters will definitely be the limited one. My opinion is do not pull first. For sure. One is if you are free to play, you might want to wait to see the resulting score. Some people might be interested in pulling. I would just say, even if they're limited, unless they're broken, I have a feeling they will be probably a A rank in terms of tier list, maybe B rank. I don't think they're gonna hit S or S plus. If we talk about Nayuta tier or Scarlet Black Shadow, I don't think there will be that. There have been instances where it likely limited like this would overtake it, but no, I don't think this will be that kind of scenario. I just got a feeling that obviously they haven't come out yet, so. But as far as I can tell, Winter in general never really broke the meta. They improved, they have it as a substitute in terms of meta, right? But in terms of actually having strong core Winter characters, I don't think they really have done that much. Summer is usually the one where you get actually more of this. So yeah. And then we also recently blew our load on anniversary. So I assume they would know to restrain a bit, right? After a big influx, there will always be a smaller influx. So if they make something really good, they will anger the fans. This is something that every gacha game would experience. Regardless it's Genshin, regardless HSR, regardless it's even Nikke, HBR. I played many. And usually after a high, the studio will always expect slightly lower or low. Because people willing to spend, yeah, that's when the people are willing to spend, and then they will just put it up. If you always force people to keep on spending, they are more reluctant to spend. At some point in time, they'll just cold turkey. Okay? They'll just be sick of it and then cold turkey and then leave. Effectively. Right, so that's one thing to note. I really like the music, that's why I was staying there. I'll be honest. I like those reminiscent music, right? It makes me feel old. But I guess I am reaching an age that is feeling old. Obviously I'm still young, but I said it's a mixed feeling. Now I think we can talk a little bit about what I feel is a good gacha game. After played so many, after starting to quit, I think the final batches. My definition of a good gacha game should be the game should be fun. A bit strange saying that games are meant to be entertaining and supposed to make you feel not bored and be fun. Well, that is true for most cases, storyline wise, gameplay wise. Yeah, I think there are some games which gameplay wise can be fun. But so far I can tell you a few things that make a game bad for sure, right? Overindulging in gacha. Like people whose mind is only into the gacha. I know there are people who are addicted to the gacha. And I did talk about this a little bit back when people were discussing about Psyche's talk about Joanna Abyss. But there is a little bit of a difference between being addicted to it and outrageously supporting something that's just shit, right? So what I feel like a gacha game should stop at, this obviously should not be taken as a overall consensus. I know some people are addicted to the rolling experience, but nowadays gacha, technically, although it's gambling, teeters on that is because of the PT system. When it's PT, you're guaranteed to get this product earlier. Right? You're not like rolling it constantly to try to get a value out of it, right? You're just basically trying to claim a product earlier if you can, but the product costs this much in essence, and if you are willing to spend this much, this is how much the product is. So they are marking up the product, which in essence, marking up is very standard in business practices, right? So like during Christmas, people might mark up a bit and then put it at a sale at a discount. Obviously you are not supposed to do that, but there are some who does that, and it's not legally right. But I think to some extent, that's why nowadays the pricing would range around there and everyone is paying more so that the money circulates faster everywhere. But another thing to note, right, is if you put the core mechanic of gacha in that, and then you start releasing values that people need to do the content. HBR doesn't really have that problem as long as you manual, but their auto sucks, and if you don't like to play the game and you only play it on auto, you can easily tell that that game is not for us and it's just gone. Right. So holy shit, I lost even though it's 100k difference. Man, I feel like shit, man. I legit feel like shit. Oh my gosh. Okay, so yeah. As I was saying, if you think about it in that perspective, gacha game needs to be entertaining, right? It can be a bit time sinking. It really depends. Even if it milks your money, you must make sure you know that the milking of the money is basically part of the standard business practice. So I will rank it based on without the gacha element, right? I wouldn't say only 3 characters, but is the game playable with current farewell characters, welfare characters, and easy to access characters. If they are able to do that, then sure. But if not, I think it's easier to say that it's not a good gacha game. Obviously, the word gacha game should say that you're supposed to gacha, right? But I think if the content is not offered in a way that benefits everyone, I think there is a need to have an introspective to look at whether the game is worth it to play in the first place. Yeah, the story may be good. I know. There are good stories. HBR story was one of the best I played. Funny jokes, funny this, funny that. I played HBR for quite a while. It's one of those that I feel like the story really carried the game way too hard. The gameplay was trash, the gacha was trash. Though I'm getting a lot of the SSR, I don't find like most of them really good. And if the game was structured based on limited your ultimates, basically like you have certain skills which are limited in usage per zone, it's not even per stage. Right, you basically have a lot more limitations. I don't think it's a good thing, right? Obviously people say you can OTK, you can stagger, you can do this, yeah. But what if you're autoing? You're not. I mean, I wouldn't like to play the game in the first place, so autoing was pretty much the only thing I would want to care about, right? If the game doesn't feel good to play, I would just set it on auto. Nikke originally was one of those games where I would set it on auto as well. I didn't really like most of the early game characters that they gave. Rappi was the only one, but you needed a whole abundance of them. But gradually when you build up the characters properly, they're all fine. HBR was the same until a certain point. I felt like the certain main story wasn't really good, and even when I tried to grind, what the heck? Even when I tried to grind it manually, it became a chore. Dungeon especially. So there's a clear defining factor on how I feel the game overextended basically. Then we take another look at gacha games like Another Eden and GBF. Right? GBF has good stuff. I have played GBF for a while. Story is not consistent, I would say. So if you're playing it just for the story, I'm sorry to say, GBF story is inconsistent. There are good story, there are bad story, there are comedy story, which to be fair, I don't really like the comedy as much of GBF. I'll be honest, it's cringe for me half the time. I just can't take comedy all the time, right? I'm a person who prefer not dark stories, but it's definitely not the type of stories that GBF is putting out nowadays. I think their main story was good for the past 25 30 chapters. Yeah, 25, 30 chapters, right? Yeah, I think past 25, 30 chapters. It was still good. But event stories would definitely play a negative impact in the game for me right now. I find them not interesting. They have reduced the rewards of them, so it makes it also a lot more less incentive to play them. The grind, however, because I'm a build character, I have built my core party, my core teams for how many years now? 7 years? 6 years? My opinion of GBF as a, I guess, interim player, I wouldn't call myself even a pro or even late game, is that I have the grids for everything, so my characters can be slightly weaker and still bypass a lot of stuff, right? And right now they're trying to sell out grids using paying. Besides the past was just selling you bars, now they're selling you entire grids, farmable grids, out of the back basically, giving you grand characters, giving you this. I have no qualm about that. That was a very good deal for anybody who didn't know. Like being able to get grand characters off banner, being able to get important weapons, including EXO and all of those stuff in that. Was it EXO or Xeno? I forgot. Inside that, it's actually pretty good because main hand wise, early game, you're gonna still have help because none of the good main hands, none of the good Omegas have good main hands, right? I don't believe so, right? M3 doesn't have good main hand. M2 only Grimnir Harp, I think. I don't even like the spear of Grimnir, so then we have Kane or Fire Kane. I guess Fire Kane is the unique choice, but that's because Fire didn't have good Kanes before until EXO came in. Now people use Faney stuff. There's a lot of stuff to note out, right? So whether I feel that GBF is a good game or bad game, I think it's okay, but it's definitely have veered towards bad game, and it has been in its worst spot in many years of its operation, right? If they want to fix it, I don't think they can, because I think they will need to be willing to take some losses to get back, and I don't think Side Games is prideful enough to take losses right now. So they'll probably go with either stabilizing it around the current trends that they have right now, or make it slightly worse every year. And I'm saying this now because in the coming 2 or 3 years, I feel they're going to do the same thing they did for summer, for Halloween, for Christmas, and for New Year's. They are reaching the point in time where there's too many characters. Character bloat is one thing, and every time they do that, they put it into the classic draw. Add classic draw 1, classic draw 2, classic draw 3. You're not going to save yourself with that. There is no way in hell that should be the case anymore. What I think they should do is classic draw should be a summon banner only. All characters should be given out for free. There is no reason they should be keeping all characters to be drawn at all, if anything. The point of contest is that all characters have no power relevance right now in the new one, unless they were rebalanced recently. If not, they are dirt shit insane, like useless. So how I feel GBF did their balancing compared to a lot of the other gacha games that did their balancing is that they always release new characters, and then whenever they rebalance the old characters, they make sure it's probably one step down or equal into the current meta-based characters, so that you can at least use them in the current context. New players will not have access to these said characters. Okay? Because in the first place, you're going to be spending all your money, all your extras per se, in the limited banners, the grand banners, the winter banners, the new year banners, the summer banners, and well, Halloween, right? And Valentine's, and now formal. So when the hell are you gonna put it into, you know, the this quiet corner called the classic draw? There's no way in hell that will happen. There's no way in hell that will happen. And the more you play the game, the more you feel that you're being dragged by the game instead of playing according to your own pace. They have been making these kind of changes to make FOMO, and obviously you know what I'm towards FOMO, right? I dislike it a lot, and they got to the point where it's so bad that I think this FOMO, slap it off. I don't need it. It's bad for the game. It only makes me hate the game more, and that's why I think quitting the game is essential. Gameplay wise, the game obviously didn't really change that much in terms of fighting. They did change based on grid. Grid base has changed a lot, whereas team formation has always stick to the same rules, right? For normal easy clears, you can go with some like super good team that can do Ogi, skill based, debuff, buff, healing all consistently. Or for endgame rates, you just basically set to the boss omens activation that you need to hit it to basically cancel the thing. So in that sense, the gameplay wise, GBS format of gameplay is actually standardly rigid and actually not bad. It's still kind of fun. GBF Guild War on the other hand can be painful, but I can say it's fun until the point that you will realize that you need newer characters to sub in, because there is no way you can do it without it, or you have to take some L somewhere. Which obviously is common in every game, but especially in Guild War where it's like honor gaining thing, you know, I really don't think that it's starting to become a shittier idea as the years goes by. Because last time Primal versus Magna difference wasn't that big. Nowadays Magna Primal difference isn't that big, but the character diff makes all the diff. So that makes it even worse. So yeah. And then we gotta look at another Eden, which I think is how to say it? I have been liking their story, I think. I mean, another Eden story has also been another one which is all around the place. It definitely has good story writing, or maybe there's nostalgia speaking to me, but there are times I feel that it's epic. The OST is great, probably even better than Grand Blue currently. And I think the gacha is obviously the most unfair of the games, because PT isn't there. They just give you a guaranteed 5-star ticket every I don't know how many rounds. On top of the chance of getting 5-star is quite low, so you can have 10 rounds and you may not even get one 5-star until you get the tickets, which were like slotted every, I think first one is at, was it 6k or 10k? So it's basically 6 draw or 10 draws or 15, I think 6, 10, 15. So every like 5 draws you might get one 5-star ticket. I forget how much was it. It's something like that, but basically the rates are not skewed towards you, but the problem, the thing is, right, you do not need those characters in AE. I mean, maybe if you have Sesta, you can just basically say you totally don't need any other characters, yeah? It's the only character that's been released thus far for quite a while that has broken every single like mechanic of the game. But in general, if you don't have it, Aldo can deal with mostly everything except for Fire Absorb or Fire Resistant. So we have like formidable team setups that actually are quite good. And now that the 4 stars have gotten renewal, so you can evolve the 4 stars to 5 stars as long as you can do the dungeon and get the book, evolve them. You essentially have the ability, bare minimum capability, to equip them with the gear, which are all gotten from super bosses or farming. And with that, the power is scaled with your ability to clear. So once you beat the content, you will feel the satisfaction. You don't need to fight the content again unless you really want to, because you don't get anything else other than that. And the satisfaction is one thing for solving the problem. Another thing that I feel that another Eden League great is that because you don't need the gacha characters, the free characters, I'm leveling Gaialet consistently every day for the past few months. Getting the Shadow to max, which is basically the dupe points for free characters, basically Shadow. Like DNA. And seeing him being able to dodge everything so easily right now is satisfying. It's satisfying. Like in general, the game balance should be that way, right? The game shouldn't be tied to gacha. Gacha can make it easier, but it should be possible to defeat it with the free characters. It should be difficult. Like they must playtest it so that it is possible to defeat it. Obviously, with the difficulty spike in mind, they also need to take cadence for it, but with just a simple left-right, solution, they can actually balance it to the point where free characters are viable. I think is a very momentous thing for gacha games, right? So yeah, how much I think the game should put into gacha for the first point in time. Gacha should be only used as a monetization option and not something that is a crutch for your game difficulty. That is the first thing. If your game difficulty is tied to gacha, you're fucked. You're absolutely gone. You can and shouldn't do that, right? You cannot and shouldn't ever do that. And before we say one thing that GBF has is that MC is very strong, I would like to advise you that MC is strong because of the grind, because of the grit, because of the EMP, because of the skill they have, and because of the main hand weapon you can get. And the moment you lock out main hand weapon to gacha, you're also limiting another thing. Bar resources are also very hard to get, which makes me believe that the longer that the game goes on, they will see the bad side of GBF coming out. Obviously, at this point in time, because we are very accustomed to Goemon weapons, I don't think that will be a problem. But as the further you go into the game, I think the changes would be made apparent. Since all the QOL that they're adding, they're also removing a lot of the fun part of the games. Also, GBF does something differently from other games because it's a multiplayer game. So they are trying to refill the blood of old players to help out new players by putting the content that they should be doing, which is like farming the old Tiamat Omegas and all of those stuff. Make them force farm them rather than just using a skip function. Is both a good and bad idea. How do I say this? In the future, if no one wants to farm the old content, because they currently farm all of the old content, then they have a surplus. Even with alchemy, that wouldn't really stay that much because people who use alchemy are all using items in the Revan's tier. So that means Revans will always be hot until they release a new raid that is better, and then until then, what will happen is that Revans, when it slows down, is the worst ever. I already encountered Revans slowing down twice already before they reignited it, but again, once it slows down again, it's disgusting. No one wants to fight a fight for the full 30 minutes. No one, and even full auto is not doable properly for most of them. Not unless you have like the current Primarch gears, Grand gears. It's just gonna get worse. It's just gonna get worse. So what I'm saying is that, as far as I see, they did a good step in M3, but the moment they stop M3, they start supporting the free to play. It hits very hard that you can't farm even the runs at M3, for auto anyway. On a slowdown. Ugh. It sucks. I know the truth is, it will be soon when the player population starts draining out, because I feel like it will. I don't think it will continue growing. It's been probably stagnating for quite a while. GBF will probably go into the worst state it's ever been. For real, this time. I don't see it being better. Raid's also slowing down a lot more. At least Raid Finder either is slowed down too much, or the people who are farming the content I'm farming right now are clearing it too fast that I couldn't see it. So it's like, no, there's no different. I think in that sense, I think that there needs to be a balance. Something needs to be done in the entire GBS system and its gacha monetization option to even work properly. Yeah. Okay, great. Little video. Wait, what? Let's rest for a bit. She did not complain for once. I'm still trying to get what Liberadio is like with all these bonding missions. Okay, I can. Yeah, but the reason why I'm not doing any A content is, one, AE only can play on one device, which means that I always play on my phone, and I will never be able to transfer it on here. And my phone will easily overheat if I do anything of like bin mirroring, sharing here and there. And I need it to be used as my Wi-Fi in case my network card goes down. So yeah. So AE will never be in my band of stuff to play for the channel for sure, even though I like it a lot. Another thing is that AE tends to be very long-winded, so you need to grind a lot for it. So yeah. And of course, another thing is there's really enough AE content creators, and they are more passionate about fighting the game with only basic characters. So that's a unique side of it. And obviously, AE has one really good point, which is that they really like people. What do you call it? They really like to hold people down with collabs that are permanent, or like stuff that will stay. Obviously, we know Square Enix stuff, they tend to not stay. Because I think the next year will be when Chrono Cross is ending. Collab. I don't know. Octopath is probably 2027, and then for Final Fantasy IX is ending next year's June. So the amount of stuff that we have to do to grind up. The only problem I have is that will they let the AD stay on, another dungeon stay on, for people who actually played the game? Because honestly, I think the AD is kind of important. No. But I also do not know how they will deal with the mirrored world. Like, it's the place where you can usually farm their resources. I don't know how they will deal with that as well. But at the moment, probably when FF9 collab release, I will actually be farming that. So I'm really looking forward to it. Because I don't play FF9, I play FF8, FF7, 13, 14. So judging from how it goes, I don't know, man. I hope that Square Enix is being a little bit tight just because it's Final Fantasy and not because it's other thing. Because I think at this point, why can't Square just, you know, give a permanent collab? If Atlas, who is usually a little bit more strict, is allowing permanent collabs, why is Square Enix, who is all around the place, isn't? No, doesn't make sense. Unless they still hold a grudge against AE staff, I'm not sure. Because AE staff were former Square Enix, a good portion of them. That's all. So yeah. Definitely, okay. I better tell the kids at the outpost not to stare at guilty. That's funny actually. Just because I always got a smile on my face, people think they can take advantage of me. Yes, yes, Queen, Slay Queen. Did I actually read this? I feel like I did this already, right? I don't recall whether I read this on stream. Yeah, I don't recall whether I read that. I'll be honest. Yeah, I think I have ranted enough about gacha games and stuff like that, so it's pretty okay, I guess. Okay, wait, I have not sent a gift. There we go. That's all my, I think, dailies done already, right? That's all my dailies done already. Ooh, that's great. Okay, yeah. So I think that's all the dailies done. I think I can actually slack off already. So today's stream is actually usually pretty short. I'm just gonna think of whether I want to start out a side story, but I just started the stream way too late, and I just feel like I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna do all of this, and then afterwards look at the event, finish up the event, and then proceed on from there. So yeah, I think today we can end the stream here after I finish this part. Honestly, it's just basically a daily stream. Okay, we have one here, one here, one here. Right? 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh wait. 2,
望みは何だい？
お呼びですか？
4.
どこに行って奉仕すればいいの？どのルートで参りましょうか。
Forgot to buff them.
どうしたの先生。何よもう。
Also, another way to tell whether they are buffed, you can look at the icon at the bottom.
命令することはある？
Oh yeah, the icon, it means they're buffed. If they're not, no icon, they're not buffed. So, just saying it out. Okay, I'm just going to bring this over here.
お呼びですか？
Then everyone else can move
正確に
here.
頼むわ。はい。ご命令を。ここだよ。はい。ご命令を。
I think I did research everything, by the way. It's like there's nothing else to research, and this game mode is, I think, as said, I'm just looking to see how fast it will drain me out of the motivation to play this mode. This mode doesn't seem to really require gacha per se, you know.
お話しください。
But it does make a difference.
聞こえた。聞こえた。
It's already night time already, dang. These days, pretty fast, huh? Okay, let me just charge everything. Oh. Okay.
Yo. はい指揮官。お呼びでしょうか。はーい、今行きます。
Oh. We get the factory staff, claim all. We need a lot of battery 2, I think. We're gonna start mass producing battery 2, then battery 1. There's still this locked here. I don't know how to get that unlocked on the thing. It's still a question mark for me.
何よもう。何しようかしら。 どのルートで参りましょうか。水泡が導いてくれる。命令は迅速かつ正確に頼むわ。ここだよ。はい、指揮官。
目標に移動する。
どこに行けばいいですか。どうしたの？なんかよ。
望みは何だい？
お呼びでしょうか。
Okay, that's done here. Last one is here, so.
Yo.
Wait, 1, 2, 3,
今行きます。
4, 5.
命令することはある？
How is this gonna work? I don't know. Okay, wait, I need to go collect my stuff now. That's pretty fast. Okay, more. 3 and 2-4 should be fine. Oh. No, I guess. So I think wherever I stream next, we'll be doing Hollow Knight again. We're going to finish up. I don't know what so I'll go for Hollow Knight tomorrow. Honestly speaking, the area in Deepness is a little bit too hard for me right now, and I don't recall a lot of the places that I need to go that has a place for me to go upward. Or is there? Now I'm pretty sure there is a place I could think of going, and I still have to go into the abyss. So I guess tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Actually, I'm not sure. Maybe tomorrow. I'm not guaranteeing tomorrow there's a stream, but likely tomorrow we will work on that. It's doable.
どうしたの先生呼んだ何しようかしら何して遊ぶ何よもうどうしたの先生はいご命令をどこに行って奉仕すればいいの何か要件でも
Okay, there we go. 3DE. I'm still not prepared to deal with this guy, so okay, where do I need to bring them?
どのルートで参りましょうか
5, 4.
何か要件でもはいお話しください お呼びでしょうか
One did take some damage, so okay. So we can just finish our stream here. I think we did our dailies for Nikke. Finish up the event. I did not start the side story, you can say, because I did not stream earlier. Couldn't really stream earlier, so well, I'm just going to take my time to finish this. I still have this bridge I have not put down as well. I need to figure out how to do it. Now with that said though, I think I'll end the stream here. If you have enjoyed the kind of content I'm doing here for Nikke, you know, I mean, do I do much content? Not really. I mean, kind of, but not too much. I don't really test damage, I'm not a guide writer, but I've just been enjoying the story, and if you do like this kind of react story content on this kind of game, I do a lot of gaming streams. I've been doing Hollow Knight recently. You can tune it in every time I stream. I'm trying to learn how to play Hollow Knight properly, and obviously not really learning the lore, but I guess immersing myself in the lore, because learning the lore, there's a few ways to do that, right? Holy shit, how fast? Oh, he's here already. Oh, it's fast. So yeah, anyway, if you're on YouTube, you can just leave a like, press the subscribe button, and press the notification bell down below so that whenever I do my streams upload, you'll be notified. And on Twitch, you can just press the follow button so that whenever I do my streams, you'll be notified. And with that said though, I'll end my stream here. I will see you on the next stream where we will continue on Hollow Knight, most likely, yeah? Okay. With that said though, thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time. See you for now. See you for now? Yeah, see you for now. じゃあね。
すべての罪をこの身に背負い、私は前へ進む。